This lesson focuses on identifying information that's necessary or not given to solve a word problem. Okay, we've been working really hard on word problems lately, and it's really important to figure out when a word problem has too much information or not enough information, or it sometimes even has hidden information that we have to figure out. So the first one we're going to talk about is too much information. What's really important in that problem. So you'll see the problem I've written on my paper says Mrs. Sanchez's class had a pie sale to raise money for gym equipment. The class sold 43 pies for $7 each. In all, 132 people came to the sale. How much money did the class raise? So this is a 4, just so you understand that says 43. So, first of all, how can we figure out how much the class has raised? Because if that's what the question wants, how much money did the class raise? That's the question. So I have to go and figure out what parts of my question are going to answer that for me. Well, they sold stuff for $7 a piece. And what did they sell? Pies. Okay. So how do we figure out how much the class has raised? We multiply the number of pies sold by the price of each pie. So you would have your 43 times 7. Okay. What numerical information is not needed to solve this problem? We had 3 numbers in this problem, but we only used those 2. So this one was not needed information. And the reason it's not needed is because the number of people who came to the pie sale does not help us find out how much the class raised, because they have a total of 43 pies. They sell them for $7. So therefore, we're going to find out how much they made just by multiplying 43 times 7. Okay. So go ahead and look in your book on page 65. Discussing problems with too much information. So a word problem may sometimes include more information than you need. Read the following problem and then answer each question. Miss Sanchez is putting a border around her garden. Her garden is a rectangular with dimensions 12 feet by 18 feet. The border material costs $3 per foot. How many feet of the border material is needed? So remember, in this case, they gave us what we're looking for. We're looking for too much information. Okay. I'm going to read it one more time just so that I kind of understand what it's asking. Mrs. Sanchez is putting a border, so around the edge, around her garden. Her garden is a rectangle with dimensions of 12 feet by 18 feet. The border material costs $3 per foot. How many feet of border material is needed? Okay. So question number 1 says, identify any extra numerical information, and why isn't this information needed? Well, if the question asks how many feet of border material is needed, I'm looking for my numbers that have that feet in my question. And I have 12 feet by 18 feet. That's going to tell me how much border is needed. Did it ask me anything about cost? No. So the $3 is the unneeded, is the not needed information. So the cost of the border does not affect the amount of material needed. To solve this problem, I know that I've got 12 feet by 18 feet, and I know that if I'm doing border, that's the outside. So if this is 12, then this is 12. If this is 18, then the other side is 18. So I can either do 12 times 2 and 18 times 2, or I can say 12 plus 12 plus 18 plus 18. If I do 12 times 2, I know 12 times 2 is 24. To figure out 18 times 2, I know that 8 times 2 is 16, and 2 times 10 is 20, so I get 36. And now I'm going to add 24 plus 36, and I get 6 plus 4 is 10, 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So I need 60 feet. Okay. On this page, the bottom says solve each problem, cross out information that is not needed. So go back and look at how I did number 1. I kind of underlined the information that was needed, and I underlined my question, but you can see I crossed out the information I don't need. I could even go so far as to completely X out the entire sentence. The border material costs $3 per foot. Okay, so you can cross out however you need to. You will be completing questions 3, 4, and 5 on this page. The next problem you could possibly see is one that has too little information, or you cannot solve this kind of problem. Okay? So Mr. Schwartz's class had a 50-lap walkathon to raise money for gym equipment. Each student in the class found a business to sponsor them at $2 per lap. How much money did the class raise? Just because it has the number 50 and the number 2 does not mean that I'm going to multiply those together. They walk 50 laps, but that doesn't tell me how much money the class raised. So in this case, what additional information do you need to solve this problem? Well, I know that they have $2 per lap, but who? Nowhere in here does it tell me, other than each student in the class, nowhere in the problem does it actually tell me how many students are in the class. So in this case, the information that is missing is the number of students in the class. So go ahead and turn to page 66 in your book. And now we're looking at problems with too little of information. So when solving problems in real life, you need to determine what information is needed to solve the problem. Read the following problem and then answer each question. So it says, the campers and staff of a day camp are going to an amusement park on a bus. Each bus holds 26 people. How many buses will be needed? Do you have enough, question number 6, do you have enough information to solve this problem? What additional information do you need? So if I look at this problem again, the campers and staff of a day camp are going to an amusement park. Each bus holds 26 people. How many buses will be needed? Can I solve this problem? I only have one number for the first thing to look at, but also it tells me if each bus holds 26, it never told me how many people are going. So no, I cannot answer this question. And what additional information do you need? We need to know the number of people who attended the amusement park. So we don't have enough information to solve it, so we can't solve. You're going to go ahead and you're going to finish this page, page 66, questions 7 through 10. This is all of them, not the evens. All 7, 8, 9, and 10 need to be completed. The last part of this lesson is identifying hidden questions. Okay. When a problem has a hidden question, it kind of is very sly about what it's actually asking. Okay? So look at the problem that's given. Mrs. Norton bought 2 packages of white cheese with 8 slices in each pack. She bought 3 packages of yellow cheese with 16 slices in each pack. How many more slices of yellow cheese than white cheese did she buy? Well, first of all, I know that I have 2 packages of white cheese, and they each have 8 slices. And then she also has 3 packages of yellow cheese with 16 slices. So remember, out to the side, I can always make 2 packages equals 8 slices each, and 3 packages equals 16 slices each. So that's giving myself some clues. So what do you need to find to answer this question? How many more slices of yellow cheese than white cheese did she buy? Because I don't have a total yet of either one of those. So what do I need to find out? We need to find how many more slices of yellow cheese than white cheese she bought. So you're going to copy down this this sentence. How many more slices of yellow cheese than white cheese? And what are the hidden questions? Well, 1, how many slices of yellow did she buy? And the second one would be, how many slices of white? Nowhere did it tell us those. But to be successful in answering this question, we have to know the answer to these 2 questions. And I'm writing this wrong. How many slices of yellow cheese and how many slices of white cheese did she buy? So those are my hidden questions. Okay. So now I can answer the hidden questions to solve the problem. So the first hidden question we had was the white cheese. Well, we know there's 2 packages with 8 each, so we did 2 times 8, which is 16. The yellow slices of cheese, there were 3 packages with 16 in each, so we do 16 times 3, or I can do the distributive property and do 10 times 3 and 6 times 3, which is 30, and 18, and add them together, and I get 48. So then it tells me that I want to do how many more slices of yellow cheese? I take the bigger number, subtract 16. So 48 minus 16 is going to give me 32. You're going to go ahead and you're going to finish questions 14 and 15 on your own. Now we're going to turn the page to page 68. Question 16 and 17 are mixed problem solvings. Pay very close attention as you read each problem to solve them and show your work. We're going to look down here at Puzzle Penguin and what's his error. So it says, Dear math students, my school is collecting cans for the annual food drive. There are 608 students in the entire school. A can of soup costs about $1. Each student will bring in 3 cans for the food drive. I wrote the multiplication to find the number of cans the school will collect in all. I'm not sure if my answer is correct. Can you help me? Your friend, Puzzle Penguin. So he wrote the problem 608 times 3, and he says it equals 1,864. We need to find out if he is correct. If I were to go back and do this problem again, which I suggest is a good thing to do, so what I do is I'm going to take this exact number and I'm going to work it the way I would do the problem. I like partial products, so I'm going to do 608 times 3, which gives me 8 times 3, which is 24, 0 times 3, which is 0, and 600 times 3, which I know that's 18, and then 2 zeros. When I add those together, I get 4, 2, 8, 1. And I notice my answer is different than Puzzle Penguin. Why is that? Well, if I go back and look at Puzzle Penguin, my 4s match, but my 10 spot doesn't match. So I look and see what they did on the 10s. Well, I know 3 times 0 is 0, but it looks like he did 3 times 2 to get his 6. Okay. So he multiplied that 3 times the 2 in the 10 spot, above the 10 spot. But he was supposed to multiply 3 times 0, and then add the 2 new groups in. So if I write my response to Puzzle Penguin, I will tell him just that. You multiplied the 3 by the 2 instead of multiplying 3 times 0 and then adding your 2. So see, I do the problem first to see the comparison. Okay. And this is the end of this section. Go ahead and finish your problems on your own.